Across the vast and tumultuous expanse of ancient Asia, legends were forged in the crucible of war. From the enigmatic warriors of Persia, whose ranks seemingly defied death itself, to the chilling tale of Cyrus the Great, whose mighty reign ended with his severed head, submerged in a crimson pool by a fiercely vengeful warrior queen, Tamiris. And then there was the Chinese general, a terrifying figure who commanded the unthinkable, burying hundreds of thousands of prisoners alive, forever altering the landscape of battle with his brutal efficiency. These are but glimpses into the epic sagas we unravel, the 12 legendary warriors and formidable military units of Asia, whose stories ripple through time. Our journey begins in the heart of ancient Persia with the awe-inspiring unit known as the Immortals. For centuries, from 550 to 330 BC, they stood as the supreme heavy infantry, the very backbone of the mighty Achaemenid Persian Empire. Their name wasn't merely a title, it was a testament to a terrifying, unbreakable rule. Their formidable numbers were strictly maintained, never allowed to dip below a daunting 10,000 men. The moment a warrior fell in battle, another immediately stepped forward, seamlessly filling the void, as if death itself held no sway over their ranks. To their beleaguered enemies, this relentless continuity created a chilling illusion. It seemed as though the unit was quite literally immortal, an endless tide of disciplined might. Beyond their battlefield prowess, the Immortals held the sacred duty of serving as the personal, unwavering guard of the great king himself, his closest and most trusted protectors. Yet they were also the empire's relentless frontline shock force, hurled into the most intense battles to break enemy lines and secure decisive victories. They wielded fearsome long spears, each tipped with distinctive counterweights, often intricately shaped like apples, designed for both balance and deadly impact. These meticulously crafted weapons were capable of crushing the very skulls of their adversaries, a brutal testament to their effectiveness in close-quarters combat. Each warrior was further shielded by magnificent, shimmering bronze-scale armor, meticulously fashioned to provide both protection and an imposing visual presence. Together, arrayed in perfect unison, they advanced across the battlefield like an impenetrable, relentless wall of death, a terrifying spectacle for any who stood in their path. Their disciplined advance was often preceded and supported by vast clouds of arrows, launched in perfectly synchronized volleys by their accompanying archers. Even amidst the chaos of battle, the Immortals maintained their incredibly tight, disciplined formations, moving as one cohesive, unstoppable entity. Such was their fearsome reputation and imposing presence that entire cities would often capitulate and surrender at the mere sight of their approaching host, avoiding any direct confrontation. Their legend was solidified in 480 BCE, when the mighty King Xerxes himself dispatched them to face the legendary Spartans at the narrow pass of Thermopylae. Even against the unparalleled valor and fierce resistance of the Spartans, the Immortals pressed forward, their resolve unyielding despite the incredible cost. Through this legendary confrontation, their reputation as an unstoppable, indomitable force was cemented, enduring as a testament to their might for countless generations. Ultimately, the profound, true power of the Immortals resided not just in their physical strength or weaponry, but in their overwhelming psychological impact on the enemy. The very name, the Immortals, became a potent psychological weapon, striking terror into the hearts of their foes long before the first clash of steel. To defeat a single immortal, or even a small company, felt utterly meaningless. It was a fleeting victory against a force that seemed impervious to attrition. For the disheartened enemy knew that by the dawn of the next day, a full 10,000 fresh warriors would stand ready once more, their ranks replenished. Thus, a true, decisive victory against the Immortals was a concept that simply did not exist. Their relentless replenishment made triumph elusive and temporary. The empire they served seemed to possess an endless supply of warriors, ensuring that the formidable Persian military always returned whole, undiminished, and ever-present. From the disciplined ranks of Persia, we turn our gaze to another formidable figure of legend, Tomyris, the fierce warrior queen. Around 530 BCE, Tomyris commanded the formidable Massagetae, a formidable nomadic people. Tomyris commanded the formidable Massagetae, a formidably independent nomadic Scythian people residing in the vast, untamed steppes of Central Asia. Their strength and freedom were paramount. However, the ambitions of Cyrus the Great, the legendary founder of the Achaemenid Persian Empire, knew no bounds. He sought to extend his dominion across their lands, but rather than open warfare, he resorted to a treacherous act. Through cunning deception, Cyrus managed to capture Tomyris's beloved son, her only heir. The news of her son's tragic death, a consequence of this deceit, ignited a cold, unyielding fury within the queen's heart, prompting her to dispatch a chilling message: "I will give you your fill of blood." Her Massagetae warriors were a force of nature, fearless mounted archers and brutal axe fighters, depicted by ancient historians like Herodotus as savage and utterly relentless in battle. When the decisive moment came, Queen Tomyris herself, adorned in battle-hardened leather and bronze, personally led her indomitable forces into the maelstrom against the invading Persians. In that monumental clash, Cyrus the Great, the famed conqueror of Babylon and the architect of the vast Persian Empire, met his end, perishing in the brutal throes of combat. One of history's most celebrated and powerful emperors, whose reign stretched from the Aegean to the Indus, fell utterly to a queen of the steppes, shattering the myth of Persian invincibility. Legend has it that to fulfill her solemn vow, Tomyris ordered Cyrus's lifeless body to be beheaded, then placed his severed head into a wineskin filled not with wine, but with human blood. This stark, visceral act of vengeance, though brutal, captivated the imaginations of Renaissance artists centuries later, who immortalized the scene in powerful, enduring works of art. Tomyris stands as one of history's earliest and most formidable female empire slayers, a testament to indomitable will and a chilling resolve. Following the era of fierce empire slayers, we delve into the legend of Bai Qi, notoriously dubbed the Human Butcher. For over 3 decades, between 332 and 257 BC, amidst the tumultuous warring states period of ancient China, this formidable general served the ambitious state of Qin with unparalleled devotion and ferocity. His strategic genius led to the conquest of an astounding 73 cities, and remarkably, he maintained a flawless record, never suffering a single recorded defeat throughout his illustrious career. Bai Qi was an architect of cold, calculated warfare, a master of devastating sieges, intricate encirclements, and the insidious weapon of psychological terror, which he wielded with chilling precision. His relentless campaigns were responsible for an astonishing 1 million enemy casualties, a staggering figure that cemented his fearsome reputation and earned him his grim moniker. Yet his most infamous and brutal act unfolded during the epic Battle of Changping in 260 BC. After a prolonged and devastating conflict, the beleaguered Zhao army was finally forced to surrender, a momentous victory for Qin. However, instead of mercy, Bai Qi issued a horrific command. He ordered the mass execution of approximately 400,000 unarmed prisoners of war, who were then brutally buried alive by his own troops. This wasn't a senseless act of barbarity, it was a cold, strategic calculation. The state of Qin lacked the resources to adequately feed or guard such an immense number of captives, and the prospect of releasing them only to face them again on the battlefield was an unacceptable risk. Bai Qi chose absolute terror, a chilling display of ultimate power designed to crush the will of his adversaries entirely. From that day forward, the stark message was clear. Surrendering to Bai Qi, meant an almost certain and gruesome death.
The psychological impact was profound, causing entire rival states to lose their resolve, their spirit broken by the sheer ruthlessness of Qin's general. For Bai Qi, victory, no matter the cost in human lives, was the only acceptable outcome.
Now, we turn our gaze to Jing Ke, the tragic assassin, a figure forever etched in the annals of ancient China.
In the year 227 BC, with the mighty state of Qin relentlessly expanding its dominion, Prince Dan of Yan made a desperate, perilous gamble.
His chosen instrument was Jin Ke, dispatched with the singular, audacious mission to assassinate Ying Zhang, the formidable king of Qin, who would later become the very first emperor of a unified China. Adopting the guise of a humble envoy, Jing Ke approached the Qin court, bearing what appeared to be diplomatic gifts to appease the burgeoning empire.
Among these false offerings were the severed head of a traitor, a grim token meant to demonstrate loyalty, and a beautifully rolled map of Dukong, presented as a gesture of submission.
But within the delicate folds of that seemingly innocuous map lay the true instrument of his deadly intent, a concealed, poison-tipped dagger waiting for its moment. As the powerful king of Qin unfurled the map, his eyes tracing the intricate details of the territory, Jing Ke saw his opportunity, his heart pounding with purpose.
With sudden, explosive speed, Jing Ke tore away the map's lining, revealing the gleaming poison dagger, and lunged, his hand grasping desperately at the king's silken sleeve.
Ying Zheng, startled but quick, barely managed to escape, tearing his sleeve free as he recoiled from the sudden deadly assault.
A chaotic chase ensued, the king scrambling around the massive pillars of his opulent throne hall, with Jing Ke relentlessly pursuing him, the dagger glinting menacingly. In the heart of the royal court, a scene of unprecedented audacity unfolded. Yet the stunned royal guards, bound by strict protocol, were agonizingly slow to intervene. In a final, desperate gamble, Jing Ke hurled the poison dagger across the vast hall, a last, desperate bid for destiny. But it tragically missed its mark, striking a bronze pillar instead. Seizing the opportune moment, the enraged king of Qin retaliated with a swift, powerful thrust, mortally wounding the would-be assassin, Jing Ke. For a fleeting few seconds, the very fate of China, its future unity and its immense power, hung precariously in the balance, resting upon the edge of that single, deadly blade. Had Jing Ke succeeded in his audacious mission that day, history would have been irrevocably altered. There would have been no first emperor. No colossal, unified Great Wall, an iconic symbol of Chinese strength, would have stretched across the northern frontiers.
And the powerful Qin dynasty, the very foundation of imperial China, would never have risen to shape the continent's destiny.
Jing Ke's failed attempt, though ending in tragedy, transcended mere defeat, becoming a timeless and potent symbol of suicidal courage and unwavering resolve in Chinese culture.
From the harsh sands of ancient Arabia emerged a figure of unparalleled military genius, Khalid ibn al-Walid, born around 585 CE, who would rise to become one of history's most formidable commanders under the burgeoning Rashidun Caliphate. Dubbed the Sword of God by his adversaries and allies alike, Khalid was an enigma, a warrior who led his forces through over 100 battles, achieving a flawless record without a single recorded defeat.
His path was not always aligned with the new faith. Initially fighting against Muhammad, Khalid eventually embraced Islam, transforming into its most feared and strategically brilliant general, expanding its reach across vast territories. Khalid was an unparalleled master of speed and strategic maneuver, famously leading his legendary desert marches, once traversing an astonishing 1,500 kilometers in mere 5 days to utterly surprise unsuspecting enemy forces. The pivotal Battle of Yarmouk in 636 CE stands as a testament to his tactical brilliance,
where he orchestrated the complete annihilation of a vastly larger Byzantine army, a victory that irrevocably shifted the balance of power.
This decisive triumph at Yarmouk not only marked the end of Roman dominance in Syria, but also fundamentally shattered the established power of both the formidable Byzantine and the ancient Sassanid Persian empires across the region. Despite an entire lifetime consumed by the constant brutal realities of warfare, a career defined by the roar of battle and the clash of steel, Khalid ibn al-Walid met a remarkably peaceful end, dying quietly in his bed.
On his deathbed, the legendary commander expressed a profound and heartbreaking lament, his greatest regret being that he never achieved the coveted glory of martyrdom in battle, the warrior's ultimate sacrifice.
He famously uttered, "I sought death on the battlefield, yet I die like an old camel," a poignant reflection from an undefeated warrior tragically denied a warrior's glorious death.
Emerging from the tumultuous landscape of medieval Persia between the years 1090 and 1275 CE, a profoundly secretive and enigmatic sect known as the Nizari Ismaili Hashashin cast a long, chilling shadow across the Middle East. They operated from impregnable mountain fortresses high above the world, none more legendary than Alamut, the eagle's nest, the very heart of their power, strategically founded by the charismatic and formidable Hassan-i Sabbah. These masters of subterfuge carved their terrifying reputation through highly specialized, precision-guided political assassinations, a macabre practice so effective that their very name, Hashashin, would forever be etched into history, giving birth to the term assassin itself.
For nearly 2 centuries, these covert operatives systematically destabilized empires, ruthlessly eliminating a formidable roster of powerful adversaries, including grand viziers, influential governors, revered crusader leaders, and even reigning monarchs.
One chilling testament to their reach occurred in 1192, when 2 Hashashin, with audacious precision, executed Conrad of Montferrat, the crowned king of Jerusalem, in the clear light of day, stunning the entire Western world.
Even the legendary Saladin, a warrior king of immense stature and vigilance, found himself a recurring target, narrowly evading multiple, meticulously planned attempts on his life, a stark illustration that no ruler, however mighty, truly felt secure.
Their agents were not merely killers, they were zealots, accepting their own inevitable demise after completing a mission with an almost serene readiness, displaying an unwavering willingness to sacrifice themselves utterly for their sacred cause.
The relentless reign of the Hashashin, however, finally met its cataclysmic end in 1256, when the relentless might of the Mongol hordes laid siege to and utterly destroyed their formidable stronghold of Alamut, shattering their physical power.
Yet their dark, indelible legacy continues to resonate through the annals of time, serving as an eerie, eternal testament to the profound and unsettling truth that a precisely placed dagger in the cloak of night can indeed decisively outweigh the combined might of 1,000 gleaming swords under the sun's harsh glare. From the vast steppes of Mongolia emerged Subutai, often called the War Dog, a tactical genius who lived from 1176 to 1248 CE, forever etching his name into the annals of military history.
He was undoubtedly Genghis Khan's most brilliant and feared commander, a master strategist whose campaigns stretched across continents.
Across more than 20 major campaigns, Subutai orchestrated overwhelming victories, defeating a staggering 65 armies and bringing 32 nations under the formidable Mongol banner. His influence spanned from the far reaches of East Asia all the way to the heart of Central Europe, an astonishing feat for a man born a commoner who ascended purely through his unmatched military merit. In a breathtaking display of synchronized warfare in 1241, Subutai masterminded the utter destruction of both the Polish and Hungarian armies at the decisive battles of Legnica and Mohi.
These monumental victories occurred within mere days of each other, despite his forces operating hundreds of kilometers apart, a testament to his logistical and command brilliance.
Earlier, at the Kalka River in 1223, he demonstrated unparalleled cunning, feigning a strategic retreat for 9 agonizing days, only to then decisively annihilate a Russian force 4 times the size of his own. At the pivotal Battle of Mohi, Subutai revolutionized warfare by deploying heavy siege catapults directly into an open-field engagement, a tactic previously unheard of. He used them to bombard enemy infantry, shattering their disciplined formations and paving the way for devastating cavalry charges, an innovation that fundamentally reshaped battlefield dynamics and propelled the Mongol Empire to become the largest contiguous empire in recorded history. In the late 12th century, amidst the tumultuous conflict that gripped Japan, a legendary figure emerged, Tomoe Gozen.
She was no ordinary woman, but an Onna Bugeisha, a fearsome female samurai whose prowess was unmatched on the battlefield.
Her legacy is vividly immortalized within the epic Tale of the Heike, where she is depicted as a warrior of unparalleled beauty and indomitable courage.
It was said that her strength and skill were equivalent to 1,000 conventional warriors, a truly awe-inspiring force to behold.
Serving faithfully under the command of Minamoto no Yoshinaka, she carved her path through the brutal Genpei War. At the pivotal Battle of Owazu in 1184, Tomoe Gozen demonstrated her incredible bravery, fearlessly leading a charge against vastly superior enemy forces. Her most celebrated act of defiance involved a direct confrontation with Honda Morishige, a formidable and renowned enemy leader.
With swift and decisive action, she defeated him in combat, then famously beheaded him, presenting his head as a stark and chilling trophy of her victory.
This was not her only triumph that fateful day. She also vanquished another highly respected warrior, further solidifying her fearsome reputation.
As the battle turned dire and Yoshinaka found himself completely surrounded, facing an inevitable end, he made a heart-wrenching decision, ordering Tomoe to retreat, allowing him to face his death with honor, spared the pain of witnessing her fall. After this final command, Tomoe Gozen mysteriously vanished from the historical record, her ultimate fate shrouded in legend. Some accounts suggest she chose a life of peace, becoming a nun, dedicating her remaining years to contemplation.
Regardless of her final path, Tomoe Gozen endures as the quintessential embodiment of Japan's ultimate warrior woman, a symbol of strength and defiance.
Emerging from the shadows of 15th and 16th century Japan, a new breed of warrior took shape, the shinobi, later famously known as ninjas. These enigmatic figures served crucial, often clandestine roles as unparalleled spies, cunning saboteurs, and lethal assassins in a volatile feudal landscape.
In stark contrast to the samurai's rigid codes of honor and bushido, the shinobi operated without such constraints, embracing pragmatism over tradition.
For them, any means to an end was justifiable. Poison, intricate disguises, and sophisticated deception were not just permitted, but actively encouraged as essential tools of their trade. Among their ranks, one name stood out above all others: Hattori Hanzo, the legendary leader whose exploits became the stuff of legend. He famously orchestrated the daring rescue of Tokugawa Ieyasu, navigating treacherous enemy territories with a masterful command of secret routes and strategic ambushes. This pivotal act of covert warfare played a critical role in paving the way for Japan's ultimate unification under the powerful Tokugawa shogunate. Affectionately, or perhaps fearfully, dubbed Devil Hanzo, he was an unparalleled master of silent swordsmanship, wielded an array of chain weapons with deadly precision, and excelled in the art of night combat. The ninjas expertly utilized psychological fear as a weapon as potent as any steel blade they carried, and while popular myths often exaggerated their powers, the true shinobi were terrifyingly effective human operatives. From the annals of Southeast Asian history emerges Naresuan the Great, a legendary figure born in the year 1555,
destined for a destiny far grander than his princely origins. He ascended to the throne of Ayutthaya, the heart of what we now know as modern Thailand, inheriting a kingdom under the shadow of Burmese domination.
It was Naresuan's unwavering resolve that led to the courageous liberation of his homeland, igniting the flames of freedom for his people and securing their sovereignty. In 1593, with a formidable Burmese invasion looming, Naresuan, with unparalleled audacity, issued a challenge of single combat to the formidable Burmese crown prince Ming Yi Swa.
This would not be a duel on foot, but an awe-inspiring, perilous engagement atop towering war elephants, a spectacle before two vast, tense armies. The ground trembled as these magnificent beasts charged, each carrying their royal warrior into the heart of the impending personal conflict, driven by the roar of thousands.
Blades flashed with lethal intent, ringing out as they met from the elevated battle platforms, the clang of steel echoing across the silent, expectant field.
With a surge of strength and pinpoint precision, Naresuan delivered the decisive blow, his spear finding its mark with chilling finality.
The crown prince Ming Yi Swa fell, his defeat reverberating through the Burmese ranks, causing their massive army to falter and ultimately collapse in disarray.
This singular act of heroism on the battlefield cemented Siam's independence, forever altering the course of its history and shaping its national identity.
Such was the monumental impact of this victory that Naresuan is still revered today, with January 18th commemorated annually as Thai Armed Forces Day.
The image of two kings locked in mortal combat atop majestic elephants remains one of history's most dramatic and potent displays of personal honor and national resolve. In the late 12th century, a figure of immense renown emerged in the annals of Indian history: Prithviraj Chauhan, a valiant Rajput king, celebrated across the land for his extraordinary mastery of archery. His martial prowess was legendary, famously leading him to a decisive victory against the formidable Muhammad Ghori in the year 1191, a testament to his indomitable spirit. However, fate proved cruel. The following year, in 1192, Prithviraj was tragically captured and ultimately executed, an event that grimly marked the dawn of Islamic rule in northern India. But it is in the face of this profound defeat that the most enduring legend begins, recounting how the ruthless Ghori, in an act of barbaric cruelty, callously blinded his captured foe.
Yet a flicker of Rajput pride remained, as Ghori, perhaps out of twisted curiosity or a dark sense of respect, surprisingly granted Prithviraj one final, unprecedented demonstration of his archery.
Deprived of sight, Prithviraj relied entirely on his loyal court poet and chronicler, Chand Bardai, whose resonant voice and precise poetic cues became his only compass in the ensuing darkness. With absolute concentration and guided solely by the rhythm and sound of Ghori's voice, Prithviraj Chauhan drew his bow, releasing an arrow that, against all odds, found its mark with lethal accuracy. Though historians may forever debate the factual truth, this extraordinary tale of defiance and skill transcends mere history, affirming Prithviraj's final, defiant glory, a king choosing death on his own terms. On the fateful day of April 27, 1521, a new legend was forged as the valiant chieftain Lapu Lapu gathered his brave warriors on the sun-drenched shores of Mactan Island. Their resolve was unwavering, facing an unprecedented threat to their freedom and way of life. Against the heavily armored forces of Ferdinand Magellan, Lapu Lapu's men stood defiant, armed only with their ancestral weapons, formidable bamboo spears, sturdy shields, and the fearsome Campilan swords. These were symbols of their unwavering refusal to yield to foreign conversion or tribute, a powerful declaration echoed across the tropical air.
Amidst the chaos of the surf and the determined charge of the islanders, Magellan himself was struck down,
overwhelmed by a volley of poisoned arrows, then surrounded by Lapu-Lapu's relentless warriors.
On that very beach, in a fierce struggle for sovereignty, Lapu-Lapu's determined men decisively defeated and killed the famed explorer, marking a pivotal moment that abruptly halted the grand Spanish expedition and delayed colonization for decades.
This extraordinary victory at Mactan cemented Lapu-Lapu's status as the Philippines' revered first national hero, proving that local resistance, fueled by sheer determination, can indeed triumph against global empires and advanced technology.
This monumental victory on Mactan Island undeniably proved that courage and an unyielding spirit can overcome superior armaments, asserting that true determination is a force even technology cannot defeat.
If you've been captivated by these legends, remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more journeys into history. But our exploration of legendary warriors doesn't end in ancient times. Prepare to delve into the modern era's most formidable units. We're starting with the notorious Black Tigers, an elite force operating within the brutal Sri Lankan Civil War, who earned a fearsome reputation for their sheer dedication.
Their members conducted over 330 audacious attacks that reshaped the conflict's landscape, embodying an unwavering commitment that left a profound impact on history. Next, we journey to the incredibly precise and daring operations of Sayeret Matkal, an Israeli Special Forces unit renowned for its audacious rescue missions, like the legendary raid in Entebbe, Uganda. This mission stands as a testament to their extraordinary capabilities, rescuing 102 hostages thousands of miles from their home, executed with breathtaking precision and courage under immense pressure. Finally, we examine South Korea's formidable 707th Special Mission Group, a unit forged through an almost impossible 90% training failure rate, making them exceptionally hardened. This elite force was entrusted with securing the monumental 1988 Seoul Olympics, ensuring the safety of thousands against all threats, truly showcasing why these are among the 12 deadliest special forces of Asia.